Picture this. You're sick in bed, staring blankly at the ceiling, and suddenly, a fly lands right up there. How would you describe its exact, precise location to someone else? Would you just say, oh, it's near the corner? Or maybe it's slightly to the left? That's not very accurate, is it? Well, back in the 17th century, a sick philosopher actually asked himself this exact question, and his answer completely revolutionized mathematics forever.
That philosopher was René Descartes. Legend has it, as he watched that fly, he realized he could pinpoint its location by using the two adjacent walls of his room as perpendicular axes. By measuring the distance from one wall and then the distance from the other wall, he could describe the fly's exact location using just two numbers. No guesswork, just perfect, absolute precision.
By the end of this explainer, you are going to thoroughly understand the Cartesian coordinate system, how to graph equations step by step, find x and y-intercepts, and apply the distance and midpoint formulas to real-world examples. Let's dive right in. Okay, let's build this grid system, named the Cartesian coordinate system, in Descartes' honor. It's essentially a two-dimensional plane, defined by two perpendicular lines. A horizontal line we call the x-axis, and a vertical line we call the y-axis. They meet dead center at a point called the origin, written as the ordered pair 0, 0. From this origin, we divide the axes into equal units. Moving to the right or up gives us positive numbers. Moving to the left or down gives us negative numbers. So to map a specific point, like -2, 4, we literally just move 2 units left on the x-axis and 4 units up on the y-axis. Simple, right?
Now wait, this is important. Here's a quick retention check for you. What happens if either the x or y coordinate is exactly 0? Well, let's take the point 0, -3. Since the x-coordinate is 0, we don't move left or right at all. We just move down 3 units on the vertical axis. So the crucial takeaway here is that whenever a coordinate is 0, your point is pinned directly on one of the axes.
Now that we understand the basic grid, let's move to graphing actual equations, like y equals 2x minus 1. We're going to use an input-output table. Now you might be asking, why do we pick -1, 0, and +1 for our x values? The answer is that the x values we pick are completely arbitrary, but we want to choose small, easy-to-calculate numbers, preferably mixing some negative and positive ones. We just plug these arbitrary x values into our equation to calculate the resulting y values, giving us perfectly paired coordinates that we can map straight onto our grid.
Let's formalize this procedure step by step so you can apply it to any linear equation. Step 1, pick a few simple positive and negative x values. Step 2, calculate the corresponding y values to complete your ordered pairs. Step 3, plot those ordered pairs on your Cartesian grid. And step 4, if the points perfectly align, you just connect them to form your line. Let me emphasize step 1 again. Picking easy numbers makes plotting this line incredibly simple and practically error-free.
Let's make this even easier by looking at special points called intercepts. Intercepts are simply the exact points where your graph crosses the horizontal or vertical axes. And this brilliantly illustrates an inverse mathematical relationship. To find the x-intercept where the line crosses the horizontal axis, you just set y to 0 and solve for x. Conversely, to find the y-intercept where the line crosses the vertical axis, you set x to 0 and solve for y. It's a perfectly symmetrical logic that's going to save you a ton of graphing time.
Let's do a quick mental check together to make sure this is really sticking. How do we find the intercepts for the equation y equals -3x minus 4? Well, let's start with the y-intercept. Set x to 0. -3 times 0 is 0, minus 4 leaves us with -4. So the y-intercept is at the point 0, -4. Boom. Now for the x-intercept, set y to 0. Add 4 to both sides, divide by -3, and we get -4/3. So our x-intercept is -4/3, 0. See how fast that was? Now that we've mastered lines, let's switch gears and connect this to something you probably already know. You remember the Pythagorean Theorem, right? A squared plus b squared equals c squared, used to find the hypotenuse of a right triangle. Well, what's fascinating here is that we can apply this familiar geometry directly to our abstract coordinate grid to measure the exact distance between literally any 2 points. This geometric connection gives us the distance formula. Distance equals the square root of x2 minus x1 squared plus y2 minus y1 squared. Okay, it looks a little scary at first glance, but let's break it down piece by piece. Subtracting your x-coordinates just gives you the length of the horizontal leg of a right triangle. Subtracting your y-coordinates gives you the vertical leg. You square them, add them together, and take the square root. It is literally just the Pythagorean theorem calculating the exact straight line hypotenuse between 2 points on a plane. Let's connect this abstract math to real life with an analogy. Imagine Tracy is running errands driving from Elmhurst to Franklin Park. We're going to place her starting point right at the origin, 0, 0. She drives block by block on a rigid city grid. First, she goes to coordinate 1, 1, then east to 5, 1, then over to 8, 3, and finally north to her destination at 8, 7. Because she's driving on city streets, she has to make these rigid right-angle turns.
If we calculate the actual distance Tracy drove following that rigid street grid, and assuming each block is 1,000 feet, she drove 2,000 feet, then 4,000, then 5,000, and finally 4,000. Add that all up, and her total driving distance on the roads is 15,000 feet, which is about 2.84 miles.
But what if she could fly? If we use our distance formula to measure the direct diagonal line from her origin at 0, 0 to her final stop at 8, 7, we get the square root of 8 squared plus 7 squared. That equals the square root of 113, which translates to exactly 10,630.14 feet. That straight line, what we call traveling as the crow flies, is only 2.01 miles. The distance formula literally proves she traveled nearly an extra mile just because she was confined to the grid of the roads.
Now, what if you and a friend are on a grid and you want to meet exactly halfway? For that, we use the midpoint formula. And it is incredibly straightforward. Step 1, add your two x-coordinates together and divide by 2. Step 2, add your two y-coordinates together and divide by 2. You are simply finding the mathematical average of your horizontal and vertical coordinates to locate the exact center point of that line segment.
Before we finish up, let's quickly summarize the key takeaways of this explainer. We started with Descartes mapping a fly on his ceiling, built our Cartesian grid, graphed equations using simple inputs and intercepts, and learned how to calculate exact distances and midpoints. Coordinate geometry isn't just arbitrary lines on paper, it's the very foundation of GPS, mapping, and how we measure our physical world. So I leave you with this final thought. If these formulas can measure the precise difference between a rigid city grid and flying in a straight line like a crow, how might you use coordinate geometry to calculate and optimize your own daily commute? Think about that, and be sure to join us